Hi friends! This is Dainty Tank. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to Lesbian Train Journey. This is a new game that popped up from Digital Poppy. Digital Poppy has popped up a couple times so far, and I was like, oh, I really want to get back to her stuff. Such a good stuff. Specifically anything that rings a bell with Digital Poppy, that should, because that is Parsnip and the Lovely Ladyverse, which is part of Trixie Glimmer Smith, and all of that paranormal world, and it's amazing. I honestly love this series. I've been waiting for more updates and more content from Digital Poppy because she is just phenomenal with how she writes and how she works with her world, and it brings me so much joy to cover her games. And that's one of the things that I wanted to bring here is just, hey, guess what? One of our favorite creators just updated. One of the big things that I wanted to say up front is that these last two updates have been free, so you can play them yourselves. I highly recommend playing yourself as well as supporting the wonderfulness that is anything Digital Poppy. Because if you want more of something, support the creator. It's 1-to-1. Support the creator, more things come. Support the creator, more good stories. I know I will be, and I will put a link down below in which you can go to Digital Poppy's page on itch.io. You can buy some of their games if you want to play their games by yourself, which is awesome to do. As well as if you just want to support them, anything is helpful. Anything is helpful because then we get more awesomeness from our best queer creators. And Digital Poppy is one of those. Specifically, and I'm pointing this out, for trans voices, Digital Poppy is amazing. And I love it. So, let's dig into the Lovely Ladyverse. Run lesbian train journey. I love that phrase. Thank God for women. Huh? Let's go kiss our wife. Alright. Let's do that. Alright. 1928. Our Lovely Ladyverse. It was 25 months ago when you started writing to her. Not with anything smart to say, just an inane question about whether serpents ate cake. You don't even remember why. An attempt to prove some inane point and some inane argument, probably. Probably. She replied anyway. Serpents did not eat cake. Serpents only ate blood. And fruit, specifically. Sometimes bones, depended. Never cake, though. Just, no. You kept up your correspondence regardless. She was too sweet a thing to just thank and forget. The feeling was mutual. She is part of an archaeological expedition atop the Great Plateau. Plateau? In her home country of Oceania. Oceania is the major home country for everything that is Trixie Glimmer Smith. So, lore! I am not Mappat. Quite literally the opposite side of the world. You yourself have never left Anglia. Anglia must be where Britain is now. Southeast. Creamiru does not count. Okay? Now you write to your wife. That is, your lady friend who might one day be your wife. Constantly. Dear wife, it's been 2 hours. I am bored. Entertain me. Or at least as constantly as one can with a 3-week wait between replies. Messenger birds may be speedy, but they aren't miracle workers. Yeah, I was about to say. Do they get paid by the mile? Paid by the yard? It's England. Paid by the meter? You and your lady friend have been flirting with the idea of visiting Oceania for a while, but it was her last letter. I was about to say, are you pulling like a whole, like, oh, what's her name? Anne Lester. Are you pulling a Lester? We should go to Russia. Don't worry about it. Let's go to Russia. Oh, I love the Lake District. I've been to Paris, and I dissected a baby. It was dead. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. If you haven't seen HBO's Anne Lester series, you should go see that. It's canceled for after season 2, which is sad. I'm sorry about that. But on the flip side, just the person who, I think Shannon Sarandon, I think that's the actress who played Anne Lester, just nailed the role. But it was her last letter, which was simply the phrase, "Come on then." Oh, I got you to go ahead with it. Well, your wife is in for quite the surprise. I'm excited. Oh, it's the Blue Hills. Oh, I know what the Blue Hills are. Oh no! So the Blue Hills are part of the, I just realized there's a whole soundtrack going on in the background. The Blue Hills are part of, where Parsnip lives. Anglia. The station is busy. People! And Tories. Visit it for leisure, as much as they do travel. Train station. Noun. 1. A place with one or more buildings or platforms where trains stop for people to go on and off. 2. An alternate dimension containing shops where Anglian pounds are worth Anglian pennies. Oh. Very true. Still, all complaining aside, the station is nice. The glass ceiling creates a warm greenhouse effect. I can actually move myself. Ah! The power of OBS. Do 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 do. Ah. Do 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 do. Ah. I'm sorry. But I'm not sorry. I'm having fun with the new software. You have to get used to it. Welcome to the DNG channel! Let's in soft autumn sunlight. No, hold on. Boop. The tracks are lined with green trees. So vibrant. Too vibrant. They invoke a permanent summer. They evoke a permanent summer. Words. You almost suspect the leaves are painted. You smile, a single tear running down your furry little cheek. No. The extortionate council tax was worth it. The mural besides the entrance reads, "Welcome to Blue Hills." It sparkles like diamonds. It was just what? Paint, you realize, when you decide to leak it. You licked it? Are you Trixie? You purchase one ticket to Bitian? And hop aboard the Type 69. Giggity. Pride of Anglia. Pride indeed. Steam engine. I'm sorry, not sorry. The seats are comfortable. The carriage is quiet. The temperature is pleasant. The chewed up gum on the underside of the seat is curiously pleasant to touch. You crouch down. Just... Why are you crouching? Why? Why? And... why do you lick everything? Don't lick. No! Please don't lick it. Just don't lick it. Someone changes carriage. Were you alone? Is that why you licked it? The conductor whistles their whistle. That's my attempt at a whistle. I'm bad at whistling. My grandfather was great at whistling. I am not. Mainly because I learned how to whistle before I had braces. So I learned how to whistle through my teeth, and now I have to whistle around my teeth. So I can't whistle. Not well. Not well. The train sets off with a gay little toot of its horn. Toot toot, bitches. You are a lovely little lady. A nice, lovely mouse. And you want to kiss your wife. As you should. But the home counties. Anglia. Fields. Green. And yellow. Oh no. We know yellow. And blue. This is our lovely Ladyverse. Woodland declining. It gives way to houses. New ones. The population booms. NIMBYism too. NIMBY. NIMBY? What's NIMBY? I might be out of the loop. If you know what NIMBY is, tell me below. I love it when you tell me things. I have so much knowledge because you gave it to me. Thank you for that. Please continue to educate me. I love it when you do. This is our lovely Ladyverse. The dainty tank and I, the dainty wife and I have this whole thing where I go, hey lady, and she goes, hey lady. Lady. It's great. I love it. Trains take you to new places. Generally, not always. But all places are the same. Really? I mean, they are the same planet? Different rations, identical nutrients. Not really. I get it, but no. In Anglia, they are full of lead. You. And probably some arsenic. There was a lot of arsenic in your countryside. I'm so sorry. In Brennenberg, Satan. In Oceania, they do not ration food, but I think the point still stands. This is our lovely Ladyverse. There is less moss on the rail now. The smog chokes it. And then pins it to the ground, then asks its color. And if you get that reference, then hi, community. This is our lovely Ladyverse. London. Anglia. It's where writers go to die. The popular saying it. Weird Tales. Given its origins during the Imperial bombing campaign, it is likely meant more literally than it is now. People are drawn to the city like moths to a flame. Or a worker into a smelter if the cities rather lack safety protocols or anything to go by. You lived here until the rabies pandemic at the end tail of the war. That sounds horrible. Drove you to relocate to the comparatively less feral Blue Hills. Okay. Are you drawing a relation to the pandemic now? Because I get it. So many people literally left the city. I literally was sitting there and we had 3 opportunities for neighbors. And every single opportunity was covered by people who were moving away from a city. It was like, oh, hello. New. I get it. On the flip side, I also love cities. Probably a good thing. The London smog has never agreed with your lungs. Back in New York, in the 40s, 50s, 60s, they would tell people to move to Florida to get out of the smog. And so you get the term halfbackers, in which there's a lot of people who moved from New York to Florida, which is the bottom of the US in the eastern board, and then halfway back. So somewhere in North Carolina, Virginia area. Because it was still cheaper down there than it was to move all the way back up north, back to New York, when they were trying to retire. And so, my grandparents were halfbackers. They went from Yonkers to Boca Raton, and then back up to North Carolina. And so, halfbacker is a thing. And it's all because the smog hurt little kids' lungs, and so they told parents, move down south where the air is clean. Not anymore. It's okay. You have a very bad cough. I do too. Even now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Cough. 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 Just so you know. The crowded streets part. No one wants to be too close to you, just in case. For some reason. It is a long walk through the winding streets to Queen Station. Queen Dawn's Sight. Sorry. Saint Dawn's Sight never lived to see the invention of trains. She would have liked them. She might have even have survived her truck into Siberia. She had access to one. Don't know who you're referencing, but on the flip side, if it was Anne Lester, because she died going to Russia, that would be great. But she didn't. You do, though. You stop only briefly at a small bakery to pick up some lunch. The friendly girl at the counter does little to stop the baker's steel glare from leaving you quite cold. And a little turned on. Queen Station is shit. The less said... Hold on. Oh, I can't go back. No! The less said, the something. Sorry about that. No surfaces worth licking there. A shame. A real shame. For some reason, those didn't go up. I don't know why. Bethune, Anglia. A cloud of smoke with 9 legs. Goodness! This town attracts all sorts. Of course, once the cigarettes smoke clears, you realize your new cryptid is a little more than a group of 5 soldiers returning from fighting the Corvid Commune. Corvid? That is... Sorry. Brain. My brain is working. There's puzzles. It's fitting in. The puzzles are connecting. Alright. Corvid. That means anything that is like a raven or a blue jay or any of those type. Commune. So you were fighting birds. A bird commune. Alright. And all of its allies. What allies did the birds have? The Great War may have ended in Europa. But Anglia still clings to what little remains of its empire. The nation's economy, already in decline from the bloodshed in Europa, is beginning to crack. Like a bird egg. Irony. Fallen from its nest. Imperialism is burrowing your head into a concrete wall. For no reason save pride. Forever. And ever. And smiling the whole time. This is normal, actually. I like having blood where teeth should be. I like having other mammals' gore cling to my hands and face. Oh, what's the past tense of empire? Empired? If it weren't for the war crimes, the inherent evil of colonialism, the nation's headstrong refusal to let go of the past would almost be admirable in its stubbornness. It isn't, though. It's pathetic. None of the soldiers are proud. They wish they could dissipate, along with their cigarette smoke. You dissipate on their behalf. How considerate. Onto a ferry. Into. Onto? In. Yes. The Anglian Channel. Anglia mostly. Boats are just wet trains. Not quite, no. They're more like wet planes than wet trains. Trains need track. Boats don't need track. However, they don't have the three-dimensional space. It's basically, trains are a linear capacity. Boats are a 2D open world. And then planes are a 3D, for the most part, open world. Until you hit a certain time and place, which is the ground. And you don't want that. Or your climb limit. Also that. Don't do that. Anyways, boats are just wet trains. Boats are just wet trains. Boats are just wet trains. Have you heard? Boats are wet trains. Boats are wet trains. Boats are wet trains. Yep. You tell yourself this the whole way. It's okay, it's just a train. You're not so keen on boats. 'Cause they can sink. You are trains, because trains have a path. Whereas boats are an adventure. You lick your lips. I don't know. It's the worst thing. I hope that isn't putting that on the internet. Oh. Problems! Salt. Why salt? Why is it salty? Salty water! True? Oh, the reason you don't like boats. I didn't put that together. Yum. Yum! Yum. This is our lovely ladyverse. Chatley. Frank Reich. Your ferry docks not far from a sandy beach where holiday makers enjoy themselves. They sunbathe on the sand, paddle in the sea, wave at each other from the back of sheep. Oh yeah, because sheep somehow are like the one thing in the Ladyverse that is not like sentient, which is weird. Like cows, sentient. Mice, sentient. Sugar gliders, sentient. Deer, sentient. Sheep. Only sheep. Not sentient. Poor things. The advent of the steam engine should have freed sheep from their rather debasing roles. A steed. But it seems the novelty is just too endearing. And so the tradition endures. So they're basically horses here. Now having tourists ride around on their back is an oft overlooked perk of evolving into sentience. As jovial as the holiday makers are, the shadow of the rusted battleship hangs over the beach. Rusted battleship? It seems as though it ran aground and was never removed. I mean, that's an explanation. That's rare. No doubt it's been stripped of anything valuable. There is the ship of the Discovery, which sat from like 2002 until like 2016, I think. It was a long stead. It just sat there, ran aground, and beached. It was very interesting. And then of course, the Costa Concordia, which is a big deal. It ran aground, and I think 34 people died in that accident, and it was a cruise ship, a modern cruise ship. Very interesting. And there's a good documentary on that on Bright Sun Films, if you ever want to look at it. Highly recommend. Really enjoy their documentaries on things, mainly because that's what I watch to get sleep, is actually just disaster documentaries. Is it the best? I don't know. It's what I watch. Sorry. Explosive. Oh god. You were stripped of explosives? Here I'm sitting here like, these cruise ships, and you're like, wartime explosives. Ladyverse, we're incriminating. That's a good point. That's a good point. As is now little more than a playground for troublesome youths. I was a teenage dirtbag. I'll post something on TikTok about that. If you're ever interested, check out TikTok. Check out TikTok. A crashed Imperial junker met much of the same fate. Just a mile away from your apartment. In London! London! It tasted of metal because it was made of metal. Irony. A young hyena runs up to you, brandishing pamphlets. Is it Heidi? Apparently wanting you to visit some of the city's tourist attractions. Is it Heidi? As much fun as they would be, rather too busy. You have to go see your wifey lifey. Occupé? Avec quoi? Busy with what? They ask. You explain that you were traveling to visit your wife. I am going to mix German and French if I try to translate this, because I took French for quite a while, so I actually got deep into French. However, I did then switch to German because I didn't think I could finish off in French. Turns out I just mixed them all together, which makes it even worse. Oh, I am not good at other languages because I have dyslexia, and I did not know that until recently. And so now I'm sitting here like, ew, it makes sense I had trouble with other languages when I have trouble with my own. They say Frenchly. Ma femme habite très loin à Londres, oui? Oui? My wife lives very far away in London, yes. You nod! That must be hard for them. The walk from the ferry to the station is short, but you still have a long way to go. Saint Arnon, Frankreich. Once the site of the great battle during the War of the Red Maple. Now most people know Saint Arnon only for the rolling vineyards and green hills to its south. A shame. The blood-drenched, probably haunted moor to the east deserves far more attention. Why? Tell me more. What? You just sped past that. No. Why? Why does it pay more attention? Oh my goodness. What happened there? I know this is like kind of like traveling through the region to talk about the Lovely Ladyverse and many different like patches, but I'm like, wait, no, tell me that patch. I want to know. Le patch de moi. I don't know. No, that's not French. The train spends some time refueling and going through customs checks. The Republic of Brennenberg is understandably nervous of weapon smugglers. They won't find them. Time to stretch your legs. Drink some coffee. In a quaint little cafe, imaginatively named Le Café. Oh no. It seems you aren't the only one here bound for the Republic. Two coffee-drinking foxes are caught up in a small argument with each other. The coffee-sipping rabbit looks on nervously. Pourquoi voulez-vous aller là-bas? Why would you want to go over there? Says one of the foxes, the shorter one. He points to a confusing finger at the taller fox. Ils n'ont pas changé depuis la guerre tout seul. They haven't changed at all since the war, you know. He snorts. Au malheur valence, restons le propos ruse monument. Though at least their violence keeps to their own streets these days. Apologies for all of my French. It's been a long time. The rabbit interjects. Her big, nervous eyes almost acting as dots to his exclamation marks. Ce sont donc sur ça là-bas les savoir magiciens. They're warlocks over there, don't you know? Magic users. Magic. There's magic in this? Hold on. We know that there's some, like, magical elements because there's, like, eldritch horror type elements that are happening in all of these different elements. And we know that there is some spell capabilities within the bird kind. But, like, warlocks? Magic users? Hold up. C'est pourquoi la gloire doit c'est le temps. It's why the war was so long, you know. Nous l'aurons vaincu plus rapidement s'ils n'avaient pas les deux m'avons aspiré de locaux. Won't have taken us so long to defeat them if they didn't have evil spirits on their side. Thank you for the translations. Really appreciate it. C'est le terrain à Gotland tu sais? It's that lot up in Gotland, you know? She speaks quickly. It's the caffeine. Oui. Oui. Thank you for poking fun back at me, just as I thank you for the translation. I see you, digital poppy, and I love you for it. Thank you. Increase the short fox. Après une inquisition, ce sont les sorciers, vous savez. So much for the Inquisition. It's them that are the warlocks, you know. And nous sommes toujours heureux avec nous. Vous savez. Salons les bouchons tous. So technically a war with them too, you know. Bastards, the juries. All of them. He continues. The fox spits, much to the displeasure of the cafe's waitress. He isn't entirely wrong. The Imperial Inquisition doesn't technically still exist on Gotland. A large island in the Baltic Sea. They did never formally make peace with the Allies, though it was very much implied. No one really wants to go make them put their hands up. The island has more anti-air and anti-ship cannons per square mile than the rest of the world combined. They say they are less warlocks and more imperial intelligence turned micronation. Not that they have any real association with the new Republic of Brennenberg. And who no longer had the money or want for that past its prime political organization. This actually reminds me of New Rochelle, which was a very important and strategic battle that happened in France specifically. So when we're looking at the Franco Reich, I'm sitting here thinking, like, of course it's probably like French and French region. Then like New Rochelle is kind of relevant here. It's much later in much earlier, of course, in the time frame than what we're talking about here. I don't have a direct comparison to what Digital Poppy is connecting to, but New Rochelle was a fortified city that literally survived so many barricades, and it was a Protestant city living in a Catholic state, and so it was part of a like English-French tug of war that happened, which is very fascinating. And the port of New Rochelle is amazing to look at because of what they did. There was a whole like barricade that happened with like sunken ships and everything, and it was like wiped out. Not even kidding you, less than a month after they had surrendered from a barricade. And like there was so much with New Rochelle, and that's so interesting as a city and a strategic point. And this seems much the same. I don't know explicitly what they're referring to here, but like New Rochelle is an interesting one to look at. They do occasionally attempt magic, but they're rarely successful. The Kaiser's head would never quite be brought back to life. Ugh. The group eventually separates cordially. They are still friends, despite their disagreements. Good for them. Personally, you probably would not stay friends with people who spoke like that. As in, so ignorantly. Not as Francois. Sorry about all of my French. The train leaves an hour later. Hopefully with you aboard. Oh, something the Republic of Brennenberg. Oh, apologies. Dang. The Treaty of Brussels was supposed to end it. The war. All wars. It did not. Brennenberg's guns point inward now. Anglia's abroad. French rise are strikers and Angliers. The Soviets at walls. Ugh. So there is Soviets here. Interesting. This is our Lovely Ladyverse. I love how well you're setting up all of this. The Rhine once ran red with blood. It still does run red on occasion, but it is wine now. Mostly. Cold tips pile across the hill tips. They are themselves hills. Hills made by the workers. And there are those who doubt their strength. The workers are unstoppable. Mostly. A few artillery shells begged to differ last year in Bremen. The villages and towns are passed through are rebuilt. Their people smile. Mostly. This is our Lovely Ladyverse. A town somewhere in the Republic of Brennenberg. The train rolls to a stop. At a town. Not at a station. At a town. The town has no station. You could argue one supposes that anywhere a train stops is a station, if temporarily. And I could, one supposes, kick you in the throat for your ignorance. After a long wait, the conductor eventually informs you that the track ahead is blocked. By landmines? No. By an avalanche? No. By a herd of sheep? Yes. It's sheep. Their shepherd is trying to clear them, but they will not budge. Village haben c'est ça Gewerkschaftlich organisiert. Maybe they have unionized Yes! Union! Unionize! Yes! I am pro-union here on the channel. I am not going to be shy about that. You should definitely unionize if you have the choice. It's the capability of pushing back in a collective voice against those who are able to rule. Here's the thing. We all talk about, like, different classes here in the US. Like, lower class, middle class, upper class. No. There's only the owning class and the working class. Period. There is no middle class. There is no middle ground. You either own or you don't. Period. And if you don't, collect your voices and push back against those that own. Because purely corporations are exploitative in nature. Unionize. Now, if they did unionize and decide to shut down the train, good job on their collective striking power. Good job, sheep. The conductor jokes. You decide to depart train. Well, they are cleared away. The town. Wherever it is. It is something from a postcard. Either it was untouched by the war, or it was meticulously repelled from its original styling. There were wood-beamed houses with fresh coats of vibrantly painted plaster hemmed the cobbled streets, like the walls of a Rainbow Labyrinth. I would love a Rainbow Labyrinth. Can I have a Rainbow Labyrinth? Can we have that game? Yes, please. Rainbow Labyrinth, the game. Daisy Tank via the Rainbow Labyrinth. Win. It would be it would be claustrophobic. No. I'd do it. I would do it. Were it not so quaint. There. I will take the Rainbow Labyrinth, please. 1 for the Rainbow Labyrinth. It isn't long before you find yourself following a sweet smell. Sniff. Where should it lead but a small conditorre? Brennenberg has long been famous for his pastries, so you may as well try some while you pass through. You say to yourself, out loud, for some reason. Justification. A passerby gives you a queer look. What's a queer look nowadays? Everybody's queer now. The baker has ribbons strung through her hair. She's very beautiful. She greets you. Pushes a tray of mysterious pastries towards you. Sogar Tag de Butters Is that German? Because there's no way. Okay, hold on. Zucker. Nope. Something. Butter. Rich. Nope. Bechamel. No. No idea. Just say yes, nod, and eat it. If you have an allergic reaction, it's your time to go. She squeaks. You don't know what that means. It only takes one bite for you to find out. Zucker got to te butter bescherisch Schmeelspice. Stick of butter coated in cinnamon and sugar, which is then wrapped in puff pastry and glazed with more sugar. Oh, yes. Yes. Okay, so, fun fact, the Dainty Tank is from the South in the US. I literally grew up with, like, fair food all the time, constantly. It does not scare me off to have a stick of butter coated in things, coated in some breading of some form, and then deep fried. I will take it. I will take it. No regrets. Stick fried butter is a big thing down south. Fried Oreo is much better for you than the fried butter, which is worse to say. Fried soda? That's a thing. Fried soda's a thing. You feel quite greasy and promptly buy 5. 4 for your journey and 1 for your wife. Good. The baker smiles. Loris? Ihr Harlet in der Großstadt. That is German. Hold on, change this up. Loris, Ihr Frau lived in der Großstadt. A long journey, Your wife. She lives in the big city, perhaps. When you grumble out a response, barely coherent, she realizes you are Anglian. Don't be embarrassed. There's nothing wrong with you. It isn't your fault that you are dumb. Nor your parents. They're dumb too. They did their best. Lots of people have this condition, known as Anglian, and it is not to be ashamed of. Most of the time. Pastry fucking freak. Go eat some beige dip shit. Go write an opinion piece about foreigners and blow up your landlord. Blow your landlord? What? You must love her very to travel so far. She squeals. A lot cute. Have a coffee. It is treat. Yeah? Yeah. A nice woman. Nice woman. Your cousin. Lucy. What? Everyone calls her Luce. As in loose cannon. Was a dashing pilot that the entire family grew to be very proud of. She dropped a bomb on the baker's house during the Great War. It was flattened. The bomb whistled as it fell from heaven, like an angel bereft of its wings. The baker still hears it. The whistle. Every time she boils her water in her kettle, shaped so proudly, like a swan. The sheep have left now, and so have you. That sounds like trauma. Thuringen, the Republic of Brennenberg. Night. At night you can sleep, even on the train, which is noisy and uncomfortable, and rocks from side to side. You dream of your wife, of your lovely lady friend. You dream of her in your arms, and you in hers. This is our Lovely Ladyverse. Brennenberg, the Republic of Brennenberg. A pleasant station, or as pleasant as a station can be, only years after being bombed in the gravel. A statue of the Kaiser survived the war, made of iron, just like his nation was. Was the operative word. He is a little melted around the edges, as he should be. Droopy, like butter that I ate. This only serves to create more accurate depiction of the coke-addled syphilitic emperor. The imperial swan has been filed off of his armor. There is no place for the imperial swan now. The peace treaty was adamant on this. Brennenberg is now depicted as a crying goose. Okay? People bustle through the station, busy as can be. Birds tapple around on the glass ceiling, their shadows beamed through to the floor like ghosts. Aren't we all ghosts? Says me, thinking. Haunting the world. History stopped, but we forgot to get off at the station. Brennenberg Hauptbahnhof is the largest station in Europa. A cursory glance at the timetable shows trains departing near constantly to Anglia, Frankreich, Ostaplein Republic, Rolpina, Rome, Konigrich, Uxlein, Belgium, the Nether Holland. Alright. There are too many countries, perhaps. Maybe there should only be one. The cry of the nationalist. There are too many countries, perhaps. Maybe there should be none. The cry of the anarchist. I lean towards the anarchist. Too many countries. Fuck you all. There aren't enough countries, actually. Gerard, fetch me my straight ruler and a pencil. The cry of the guy in the charge of the partitioning of the Osmanish Reich. Is that the, started with an O. Something empire. It literally collapsed. It was a long reigning dynasty that controlled over Turkey, Greece, Ottoman Empire. You feel rather overwhelmed. Which route would get you to your lovely wife fastest? You close your eyes and pick a route at random. Such a smart little mouse. Your chosen route is highlighted in red, which Wahrscheinlich wollte Papa vergrund song not gun. Written beside it. You nod your little head. It says, good choice, you think? You board the train and get comfortable. Shout to the street outside. Fascist! Fascist! A gunshot. Then two more. This is the ambiance of Brennenberg now. It will be for the next decade, until all die Faschen und all alle the Kommunisten lay dead in the gutters, and die Liberalen look down and tut, shake of their head, aimed at the pointless violence. Ooh. You went political there. I get it. Because fuck fascism. Specifically. Ugh. The muzzle of their rifle still burns the touch. Not hot enough to painlessly kill the nurse. Not cool enough to not hurt at all. Somewhere shitty. In between. Your train leaves the station 7 minutes early. Gunshots are more compelling order than a whistle. Commissars discovered this during the Great War. The conductor chases along the station. He is shouting, waving his fist. You wave out of the window at him. Ta-da! You should have taken a watch. You tell the man next to you. He frowns Germanously and changes carriage. You talk to a man. He ran. Hey friends, sorry to interrupt. Had to cut things here. Unfortunately, it got very long, but that's okay. That means there's a part 2, and that part 2 is also the end of our Lovely Ladyverse. At least this journey through our Lovely Ladyverse. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I hope that you had lots of giggles and fun, and also enjoyed just the overall ambiance and story Digital Poppy has done for us. I appreciate all of you watching. I also would appreciate if you go and give Digital Poppy some love and attention and some comments. And they are amazing, and her whole aesthetic is great. I love everything about her world and what she's set up. I know that all of you do too. So please have fun exploring her if you haven't found her yet. If you have, welcome back. We'll be playing more. With that, I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye!